The president arrives here in Sharm in the full throes of a midterm election battle. What is his focus going to be on the ground here at COP27?
Well, I think the president will arrive to an environment with a lot of energy, a lot of momentum towards addressing this climate challenge, both inside the negotiation room, but the president will also get the chance to talk about some of the steps that the United States is taking, even beyond what's going on in those negotiations, to try and accelerate action and to pioneer and demonstrate new pathways towards cooperation in addressing these interrelated challenges, right? Climate touches on so many things: food security, energy security, development, livelihoods around the world, adaptation, resilience. So that's why the United States is putting forward a number of new initiatives related to early warning systems to help adaptation and resilience, catalyzing $8 billion in investment towards climate-smart agricultural innovation through our Aim for Climate platform, catalyzing $12 billion worth of purchase commitments from some of the biggest companies in the world to purchase low-carbon materials. These are all things that the United States can do with its own leadership leaning forward, in addition, of course, to what we're doing at home with the Inflation Reduction Act and the historic investments we're making in clean energy in the United States.
There's certainly a lot at stake for the administration's climate and energy agenda in these midterms. If we see a significant change in the makeup of the House and the Senate, what's the mood in the Biden camp at the moment?
Well, I think that a lot of people view the elections as actually a pretty historic vote of confidence in a first midterm election for any administration in the administration's path that it's taken, not only in addressing the climate crisis, but also in doing so in a way that sustains global economic growth, helps to lower energy costs for consumers, and actually helps to unlock new, better technologies so that we can keep people wealthier and healthier even as we try and protect the planet.
So what can we expect the president to say when he addresses leaders here in Sharm?
I don't want to get ahead of his comments, but I think you're going to hear, again, the president addressing what the United States can do and is doing to try and address this interrelated set of global challenges. No single country, no single company, no single sector can address the climate challenge alone. And so I think what you're going to see the president lay out is a unique vision for the leadership role of the United States and the investments it makes at home to help lower the cost of clean technologies like hydrogen, carbon capture, long-duration energy storage, solar, wind, etc. Those costs being lowered at home through the incentives we have in the Inflation Reduction Act will help to actually make that clean energy more accessible for the world over. Think about what happened with the dropping cost of solar when Germany invested significant amounts early on in solar deployment. But he'll also talk about what we're doing to ensure that the most vulnerable around the world, least developed countries, small island states, those truly at the front lines of the climate crisis, are protected from growing climate impacts.
As the president arrives at COP, critics have said that the administration has lost its own narrative when it comes to energy and climate. On the one hand, the president has been calling on oil companies to ramp up production in order to alleviate prices domestically. But then on the other hand, and this conversation happening just within a matter of days, calling on those energy companies to stop drilling altogether. So why should leaders here take him seriously when it seems as if the administration's narrative on energy and climate is lost?
I don't think it's lost at all, actually. I think there's an extremely logical synthesis here. The climate crisis is a long-term crisis that has to be addressed in a way that sustains economic growth, protects the livelihoods and the prosperity of individuals in the United States and around the world, and does so in a way, again, that can mobilize continued support for addressing a climate crisis that, by the way, will cost much more to deal with later on if it's not dealt with today.